Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome to the Airstrike and Apex Legends podcast. Today we have an amazing guest that we're going to be talking Apex with. Today we have Lost in Ruins. How are you doing today, Mr. Lost?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing amazing. How's Apex been for you this past week?
It's amazing. It's still a grind.
Yeah, always a grind, always a grind. Well, that is awesome. So first here today, we're going to talk about some simple stuff. What's your favorite map here, Mr. Ruins?
Uh,
Either World's Edge or Kings Canyon.
Kings Canyon all the way, 100%.
And why's that?
It's just not as crowded of a map. It's easier to get rotations in.
Yeah, definitely. They're and you like the mountains? Is the mountains not your favorite?
No, not at all. All about the desert.
All about the desert. I like that. That is words to live by, everyone. So let's move on to weapons. What's your favorite weapon combo right now in the current meta?
R99. Whatever I get secondary, that's up to the game. But the R99 is it.
Yeah, you're like one of the sweaties.
Yeah.
You just like one clipping people and.
Mhm.
What if you had to? What if the R9 was removed? What would you choose?
Ooh, that's hard. I guess probably the flatline, because the flatline's easily my second favorite.
Definitely kicks hard. Are you a fan of the G7 to run as a secondary? Or
No.
you just go with whatever.
Yeah.
No,
not the G7. Not a fan at all.
Awesome. So we got to talk about it. The Mozam, obviously a meme weapon right now. Do you think it's in a good spot? Do you think they should buff it, nerf it?
Realistically, it definitely should be buffed or entirely taken out of the game. It's at a point where they can't do much to it to, give it the strength that needs to be viable in any match ever.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever they do to it, it's gonna probably make it overpowered or keep it underpowered.
Yeah, and I mean, we did see that. What was it? The April Fool's 9-shot Mozam. That was insane. Yeah. So, like you said, if we probably buff it, it'll probably go way over the top. So
yeah,
maybe are you saying remove it? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real point to it otherwise. Other than to be a meme.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe that's what they're just keeping it in for, is just to keep one community meme at least. Okay, so next up, you main Lifeline currently in the current meta, right?
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Is there any other characters you like better than Lifeline?
No, not better. Kind of.
Anybody else you play? Like, who's your next up behind Lifeline?
Still, Wraith.
You like the small hitboxes? Yeah. I feel. So, in this recent patch, Lifeline got a huge buff with the self revive, whatever you want to call it, health drone that can res one teammate down. What is your opinion on that?
It's strong. It's very good. Definitely makes her insanely more viable in the current metas. And if you don't run a Lifeline, you probably won't win because she's very strong.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I mean, a lot of teams thinking maybe Revenant, Lifeline. What would you put as the third on that team? What do you think is the top
Gibby.
3 legends that need to be on your
team?
team?
Man, just Gibby.
Gibby?
She's super strong.
Definitely with that arm shield, the extra 50 health on a 1v1 fight. Definitely. Awesome. Well, do you personally think that it could be changed anyway? Do you think it's too overpowered, or do you think she needed that buff to make her more viable?
No, I think it's fine. It gives a sense of edge. It keeps her in the fight while being a medic still. So it's definitely it's useful. It's good. I don't think it was too much.
Yeah, I've definitely been scared myself sometimes when a Lifeline is on their team and 2 members are down, just knowing she can res one of them and we can't even do anything about it. So you yourself have participated in some semi-professional tournaments with a team named Adola. Could you speak a little bit more to that?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're great. There's only 3 of us. Me, myself, and Hugin, and another man named Roots. We're all pretty good players. We all have our own mentalities, mains, and we kind of
Hmm.
come together and make a pretty solid team. Some may say
Yeah, so I believe
unstoppable.
you won one of these
Yeah,
tournaments, if I'm
yeah.
correct, right?
That was not under the team name though. That was under no name.
Nice. Well, I mean, a win is
A
a
win is
win,
a
and
win.
was that tournament stressful for you guys, or was it just regular day in the office,
Oh
just
no,
cleaning up teams?
it was stressful. It was very stressful.
So are you looking to continue with Adola and continue into maybe the pro scene with them?
If they're ready to take that step forward, then I am too.
Hmm. Or are you looking to be hired by TSM?
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah, TSM better watch out. I think Ruins might come and replace one of your members, or he might make a team to take you down.
Yep.
So I'd be careful about that. But moving on to our next thing, if so, a lot of talk has been on new characters who should be added, and if there was one character that you could add that would, and you can make up their abilities right now, what would you be thinking for a new character?
Hmm. Probably maybe another scout or another combat
Hmm.
medic of some sort.
Yeah.
That's
What do you
really
think there?
going into abilities. I couldn't really think of anything on the spot. It takes a lot of thinking.
Yeah. So one of the thoughts brought up was maybe a character that could have like a grenade launcher. Would that be? Do you think that would be too overpowered or something of that sort?
I don't think that's too overpowered. Making an ultimate, give him 12
Mm-hmm.
grenades or 6 grenades. Give him a time
Mm-hmm.
to shoot him. No, I don't think that'd be overpowered. 50 damage a
Yeah.
hit. I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. That would be pretty good. And then if you don't hit the whole team, maybe it's not a whole team wipe, but maybe you can get one down that does area damage. That'd be pretty
It
cool.
would definitely help against the camping metas of
Mm-hmm.
caustic. Maybe not so much Watson, but definitely caustics.
Yeah. And then maybe I don't know, maybe Watson's pylon deflects the grenades or something
Hmm.
like that, so there's a counter to him at least
Yeah,
or her.
that'd be interesting.
Okay, so thinking about changes and stuff like that, if you were the lead developer right now at Respawn and you could make any two changes that you want to Apex, what would those two changes be?
I would stop nerfing Wraith. That's one. That's definitely
Yeah,
one. And I would stop buffing Gibby. That that is also something that I don't think is necessary anymore.
yeah, I think Wraith nerfed to Oblivion after the seconds increased on her use of her Into the Void,
You know,
where now it feels like it's so long. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's just like maybe for mobility, but it's very interesting. And yeah, like you said, Gibraltar very strong right now. I don't think he really needs any more buffs.
I don't think he does either. He's a tank already.
Yeah, he is big though.
Yeah, he is
He is
big.
very big. Okay, so actually, we're gonna take this moment, everybody, to go look at a clip of Lost in Ruins in action during one of his amazing games.
Raj clean. Knocked one.
Another squad is attacking us. Firing. Reload.
I got a stick on a second floor. Cracked.
Can't believe I'm standing still. You're lucky, I like you. That was the last of that squad.
They're rising above us.
Reloading.
Healing my wounds.
I'm dead. Oh my god, he's so bad. Got him.
Wow. Okay, that is a sweet clip. Lost in Ruins. That is just really crazy. Landon in the partial fragment of Capital, taking two teams out, almost dying to that Mirage there. But what was
Yeah.
going through your mind at that moment?
So I pushed into the fight with my teammates. We had a random, so we didn't have communications with him. I caught one guy running across. I one shot him. I stuck the Gibby. I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was two teams at the time because no one was saying anything. And then I dropped down to realize that's when I realized it was two teams. I stuck the res to get my teammate up. I heard them resing above me. I pushed to try to hopefully clean up the Gibby again, but he had already pushed out, which is nearly where I died nearly to that Watson or the Mirage.
Yeah.
And then he almost got me. Luckily, he missed most of his shots and saved me. And then I cleaned up the last bit of the team.
Yeah, just amazing. Like I said, TSM better watch out for you. I mean, you're coming for him hot too. If you miss any shots on Lost, he's gonna get you.
Yeah, man.
So that was a super amazing clip, but we're moving on to something else here. So a new weapon that I imagined that could be added. Tell me your thoughts on this. It would be called the Volt, obviously, and it wouldn't do as much damage per bullet, but it would slow the person you shot.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Maybe it has like a bullet projectile of kind of like the L-Star, where it's kind of like a more like, instead of like a bullet gun, it's more like an energy weapon. The whole slowing thing, it would make a lot of sense. It'd kind of take away from the heavy ammo thing, but maybe if it's like the triple take, where if you get hit, you're kind of slowed for a bit, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, what would you think is a good like damage number? Like if it is an SMG that could shoot maybe as fast as like maybe a little bit slower than the alternator or something like that. What do you think is a good like bullet damage number if it's also slowing?
Well, the alternator is kind of already pretty slow. I would say more like just a bit slower than the R9 maybe. Because
yeah,
I would say maybe like, because I think the R9 is like 11 damage or 13 damage per bullet. I'd say 8 damage to 10 damage, and maybe it does more to shields. Because that would make sense.
So like a half disruptor round kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That would make sense to me. But maybe that'd be too overpowered.
And maybe. I mean, would you have it like if you hit them once with the gun with part of the clip, it would do 25% slow, or would you do like
no, that's too
maybe
slow.
it's
maybe
3% slow per bullet or something like that?
Maybe the first bullet like stops you from running, kind of like an arc star effect, getting stuck with an arc star.
Yeah.
Like you can't move much. Maybe that, but that kind of it'd be like an SMG full of arc stars. So
yeah. Yeah, just an interesting thought. We don't know what weapons they're gonna add, and supposedly they're gonna add Ash upcoming for this new season. What are your thoughts on her?
I have absolutely no idea. I'm completely in the dark about this one, and I'm really excited to see what they can do with it.
Yes, I mean sometimes that's the best way to go in, is just in the dark, not knowing anything, and be surprised.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay, so the next thing I have to ask you is if they were to, I mean, obviously they are going to add another heirloom. Who should they add, and what do you think it is going to be?
I think this one's very obvious because I've talked about this with many people, but Gibby. Gibby needs an heirloom, and it should be the tribal hook blade that he executes people with. That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
like that'd be pretty cool, I think. And with all the buffs, I thought he would have gotten one instead of Mirage. But
yeah, definitely. I mean, I think they're targeting more of the starter characters before they go into the ones added. I mean, they did give one to Mirage, who was technically a starter character, but was Octane. One of the first extra edition. So, and Octane, yeah, you're right. So, but they're targeting, I think, the first like 8 or 6 legends. But so maybe Bangalore. What about Bangalore? What do you think they would do for her?
I need to think about that. Maybe like I feel like a combat knife would be a little too basic. But she is, like a war-esque character. Maybe like a grenade canister or something. Like a flare.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah, like shoot it off in the middle of the fight and it shows everybody your location. That would be good. That would be good. Okay, I think that is all we have today for you. I do appreciate everyone that has stopped by to watch or listen. A big thanks to our guest, LostInRuins. If you want to go follow him, his Twitch is LostInRuins. Go watch him. He is very epic. Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Runes?
No, thanks for having me.
Yep, of course. Well, this has been the Airstrike Podcast. My name is Llama77, and thank you for dropping those airstrikes for me and everyone here. Have a good night. See you.